And
Is
you
it
had
not
like
working?
It's the same. No, they just feel different.
I've never switched anybody's.
You're wearing
you're
a hat.
dehydrated.
That could be it.
You're
Yeah.
dehydrated.
God, guys, things are weird.
Oh, you all right?
I'm dehydrated.
Are you?
Yep.
Yeah, bottoms up.
I had to get more IPA. I had to drive up there on Saturday.
This is a freshie?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And I realized that I have probably had 98% of that keg.
Mm.
And I'm only 4 pounds heavier.
You got to get sick like Jack and I.
No, that's
At least 5 pounds in a week.
Jack's not even taking his bike to Maui.
No,
anymore.
he's still sick. I
Yeah.
talked to him. He's like,
Did he have COVID? Was it that?
Yeah.
Or was
he
it
had
just-
COVID, and then he got what I got, the flu on top of that.
God.
yeah,
It sucks.
yeah.
Double whammy.
And this big planned trip to Maui,
Yeah.
he was supposed to take Alaska Airlines.
Oh.
Yeah. Cancel. He has to take United to San Francisco, so it delays them.
Why
getting
is
away.
that?
Because of the whole, the door thing.
They had the emergency door
Oh,
ripped off the
yeah.
flight.
Oh,
Yeah, so I saw Saturday Night Live did a thing. He says, "Hey, don't complain about it. You got a good story out of the deal, and nobody got hurt." This is Alaska Airlines.
it's a huge window seat.
Yeah.
It's a huge window seat.
Excellent views.
Can we open the windows so I can get a little breeze? Whoa! There goes
Yeah.
my shirt. Tore his shirt off a kid.
Yeah. And then, like,
Think he was
burns
cut?
or something like that because of
Really?
the...
God, I can't imagine what my skin would be doing with that suction.
It would have gone out with it.
Yeah.
You'd just been muscle and bone left on you.
The shirt coming off, did it come off just like disintegrate on him, or did it come off over his head? Did it? I
Probably
need
ripped-
details.
It probably ripped
I
off.
just ripped off.
The
the
shirt
seam.
Yeah.
tore off. Why did his pants stay on?
Pants are a lot stronger. Of
Well,
a
you might be
material.
sitting on your pants.
Yeah, he was sitting.
That
Well,
kinda
he was
holds it
leaning
down.
back against the chair.
Well, he probably thought, "Mama, look at that, try and hold." And you lean forward and
Hey, Mom, I can
Yeah,
see our house from holy crap. It's cold in here now. That's my kid's voice. I'll start. Before we begin, sponsor mentions and an in-house plug. This is a different show, I promise. Packfiller Online Store is your place for some fun and ever-expanding Packfiller pride, hats, caps, mugs, shirts, stickers, jerseys, and more. Lions of Tigers and Bears. Take a look at Packfiller.com to show off your love of bikes. Untapped maple is pure Vermont maple syrup is the core, and clean energy is the result. If you haven't tried it, you're missing out. Easy to digest, great flavor options. Replace that muck you've been ingesting in your rides. Untapped is again with us for 2024, and we are super happy to have them on board, fueling the rides. Of course, we are also happy with Scratch Labs. I do have to mention an alert that the Blueberry Chews are being discontinued, which really kind of bums me out. They do this every so often. They get rid of certain flavors. And I have some of the Blueberry Chews packs left, and I'm going to probably get on to Scratch Labs and order some more. It has it all for the season, both indoor and outdoor, so check out scratchlabs.com. Lastly, Giro. That is right. The pioneers in modern helmet design, along with brilliant offerings in footwear, accessories, and much more. Be sure to check them out at Giro.com. And when they ask you who sent you, tell them it was us. Please tell them it was us. Why is that up in front of my screen? I need that in order to be on the screen. Professional.
I'm gonna drag tonight. It might actually be a good thing though, because usually I'm just like the interrupted cow. So
moo.
yeah.
Why are you dragging?
I worked
He's
on the house
dehydrated.
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just realized how tired I was when I sat down. I was like, wow.
Oh, this would be a great show.
Did you just get out of the shower a little bit ago? Because you got the wet, kind of stylish curly hair look going on
Like
there.
at 5:52 is when I got out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And it's 6 o'clock.
yeah.
Kind of got a youthful Kenny Loggins look going on there. You have no idea who I'm talking about, do you?
Nope.
I do.
Look him up.
Come on.
Yep.
It's an insult.
You know who it is.
It's an
Kenny
insult.
Loggins.
Jackson does.
Kenny Loggins. Come on. Did you ever see the original Top Gun?
Yes. Of course.
The theme.
Highway to the Danger Zone.
That's him. God,
okay.
you
I don't
guys.
I don't know any names.
He also sang, even
Besides
though we
Tom
ain't got
Cruise.
money, I'm so in
Christopher
love with you,
Robin.
honey. Yeah.
I know.
Loggins and Messina was a good.
I'm all right.
No.
Hey, the fucking gang's all here, and they don't get any references. That's right, Arguing Brothers, the old guys from The Muppet Show, and one guy just trying to enjoy his cider. In other words, it's Tuesday. We are live in the Rim Break Bar, and it is time to talk bikes in the Packfiller Cycling Podcast. I am Pat Bulger. Let's jump right into tonight with the prologue question. Good luck with this one. Of the Best Picture nominees for the 2024 Oscars, which one have you seen? Which ones have you seen? And if none, which one do you want to see? I'll give you the list.
Oh, God. Okay.
American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. First off, he's just a Ken, Mr. Paul Main. How are you, man? How are you, man?
My job is beach.
Yeah, exactly. So we know he's seen one.
No, I just heard that line.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
it was very funny.
Yeah. You don't know.
Yeah, they were talking about it
don't know
on
the beach.
NPR or something like that,
Yeah.
and that they did sample that, and I thought
Oh, okay.
that was a funny line.
It was funny. It was funny. Have you seen any of them?
No, but there's one that I really want to because I've seen plenty of through time documentaries on Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Looks
And I'd like to see the Hollywood version of reality.
Yeah.
on that.
Set aside a whole night.
Yeah.
Really?
It's 3.5 hours or something.
So is
Easy.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have no
over
idea.
3 hours.
I haven't even heard other than Barbie and
Yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Okay. Second off, no. He's just a Ken, Mr. Sam Waples.
I'm enough.
Enough. Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen Barbie. That's it.
You've seen Barbie.
That's
okay.
the only one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I drive through.
What?
Drive-in?
Drive-in?
Yeah, it's a
Drive through.
drive-in.
Yeah.
Well, you drive through it at some point.
All the actors.
Eventually, you stop for a while,
Yeah.
and then you
Oh, wow.
drive through.
Then you drive through.
You went to a drive-in?
Yeah, like there's only a few left in the country, but there's one over near Belfair, Washington. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's
It's-
one in Slow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
A lot of them I'm hearing now actually transmit the audio through Bluetooth, so
Yep.
you can pair your stereo to it.
Yep.
Better than
It's
that
cool.
metal box
That
that's
little-
stuck on your window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, how did they?
It's actually like super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been. When I was in college, it would come through your radio. You would
Yeah, I
tune
know.
into
Well,
a
David,
radio
you're
station.
talking to guys
What are
who
you,
grew up with it.
14?
I grew up when there was 5 drive-ins in Spokane, maybe 6.
Jeez.
And they had
Autoview, the Y, North Cedar,
He knows the actual locations.
yeah,
David,
Dishman.
you know that 56 Ford that we fixed up for Dad?
Yeah.
His truck? That was modern in Paul's era.
Oh yeah, I was born in '63.
Probably went to a drive-through in it.
Yeah,
And you know what they did at a drive-through?
Oh.
You didn't watch movies.
yeah. If it was a pickup, you turned around backwards.
Paradise
back.
by the dashboard light. Next off, wait, I thought he was a Ken. Mr. David Waples.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the real
What you
Ken.
seen?
I've seen Oppenheimer. I want to see Barbie.
You haven't seen that?
What'd you think of Oppenheimer?
It was really long. It was good though.
Yeah.
Um,
Home or theater?
we watched it at home in 2
Yeah.
nights.
Oh, Jesus.
It was too much. 3.5 hours was too much. And even with 2 nights, we kind of like by the end of it, I was like kind of zoning out.
Wow.
But it was good.
Okay. Next off, if all you guys are a Ken, then what the hell is he? Mr. Jackson Bulger.
I saw Barbie. That was it.
You've seen Barbie?
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. Me, I'm fucking Ken, man. Can you tell Barbie's the only one I've seen?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, my intros were a little light tonight, but I was like, nah, it's kind of in the theme of things.
Yep.
It's the only one I've seen, and I thought it was good. I was surprised at how that I actually enjoyed it. I was like, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Movie about dolls.
What a powerful movie.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
also a very empowering
very,
movie.
very-
And insanely ironic when you see the Oscar nominations that came out today.
yeah. that
Greta
was
Gerwig, denied.
Oh. What?
Margot
Yeah,
Robbie. as
Margot
well.
Robbie, denied. Gee, it's almost like there's a patriarchy of men.
But Ryan Gosling.
But Ryan
was
Gosling?
nominated.
The entire plot of the movie has come to life.
No.
Yeah.
What does it mean, denied versus
Did not get one. Did
Nominated.
not nominated.
not nominated? Okay, cool. I
Not
don't know how these things really
nominated.
work.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're talking to some theater people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. We're
Just
we're-
wait for the Tonys.
Hello.
I've never watched the Tonys in my life. I gotta admit.
I don't think I have either,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. So there we go. And speaking of patriarchy, gentlemen, welcome back. We have everybody here. It's nice to have all the guys, sausage party at the table here.
Speaking of all white
Yeah,
men.
exactly what I mean. I'm in a room full of white dudes talking about a sport.
Some of us are more of a little smoky. I'm just saying.
No?
I mean, we're all we're all white men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean smoky?
A little smoky, the little cheese-filled tiny sausages. I'm making a penis
Oh my
joke about
God.
Sam.
You're making a penis joke?
So
We thought you were
room
talking
full
about
of,
Like,
sausages
Mo was like, no,
in
like we're all like
tone, skin tone. No, we're all pretty
we're all
fucking
same
pale.
here.
No, we're all very white this time of year. No, he's
I
making
get
a
what you
small
mean.
dick
Okay,
joke.
I get what you mean. I'm caught up.
Yeah.
Vienna sausage, that works better.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Are
Okay.
those small Vienna sausages?
They're very small.
Oh.
Yeah.
kind of the
give him
same
more
thing, really?
fuel.
Oh, vegetarian over here.
Yeah, he doesn't know
Vienna
anything about sausages.
I used to feed those little things to Jackson when he was a baby.
Were they the
Chop 'em
Eggers
up.
ones
Gerber-
that
no,
had the
Gerber
cheese
made 'em.
in
Thing
it?
to say.
Oh.
No, Gerber made them, and I put them into slices. And
Man, I'm telling those. You know those Eggers ones that have like the
don't be
cheese in the middle.
disgusting. We just started.
We're back.
Crazy that we jumped to there. But anyway, Sam, what were you saying?
Those are like those little ones.
Yeah,
from
the little
the-
tiny
a
ones
little
with cheese in the
smoky.
middle.
Yeah.
That's a little
Those little
smoky.
smokies.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
okay.
traditionally, aren't Smokies like put in like a barbecue sauce?
I have
Yes,
no
they are.
idea.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
We are coming to Super Bowl season, so you know.
No, it's the best time for a Smoky.
Yeah, exactly.
Smoky season.
No?
Speaking of getting fat, who's been training this week? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just on the trainer. I haven't been out on the road.
how many?
3.
3.
And a yoga.
Oh,
I practice an hour of yoga.
with system
Online.
or
Online.
okay. I haven't tried the ones on Apple yet, but I hear they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Maria's done something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many? You put your hand up, David. How many?
I'm still doing the
You're still
Five
Doing
a week
5 a
thing.
week.
whatever the algorithm
okay.
tells you.
I was getting really tired this last week though, and then I realized it does this thing which I should probably do. It's like 3 hard weeks and then a rest week. Like, this
Oh
is great.
my
That's-
God!
That's like our old style of training
Oh,
from
yeah.
Eddie B.
And then it
hurts me.
recalculates your FTP and everything, and like
Macro cycle.
I thought we just went hard every day.
I did, yeah. And now I'm like, this week I'm like doing one of the recovery weeks. I'm like, this is kind of nice. So it's,
You'd like that, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I would have never guessed the way you race.
Unbelievable.
Doesn't take much to be a doctor, does it?
No, it really
I really
doesn't.
thought they were like the best of the best.
That's like
and stuff
101.
that. I
That's
really
like 101
thought, yeah.
training. You have like a hard week, and then you like a hard few weeks, and then you like to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
And you go again.
Yeah, rest weeks.
Yeah.
Jackson, save us. How's your training been?
Good, yeah. I came off last week was kind of an easier week because I had a little bit of a physical setback and not a really bad way at all. A very temporary, week-lasting setback. That
Uh-oh.
it's a red bump. We all know where I'm going.
Oh,
God.
Yeah,
no.
so I had to take a week
right
off.
next to your Smoky.
I had a saddle sore for Christ's sake. I didn't have fucking chlamydia. Like, take it easy, Jesus.
Well, I said next to your Smoky. I didn't say on your Smoky.
Either way, but
The taint. I
Yeah.
think it was
The
on
taint.
the tank.
yeah, but so I took it easy last week. Just did kind of weights, and now I'm on to my regular schedule. So
Right on.
I somehow chafed last week
yeah.
on a trainer. I haven't chafed in years, and my butt cheeks chafed.
I
Maybe
mean,
I
that
am
could have
gaining
also
weight.
been because you did you work out, like go skiing before and then ride?
yeah,
Or,
I do that, yeah.
so you're like
And you didn't
sweaty
clean.
already.
Yeah, you didn't wash it.
Straight out of the bibs.
Yeah,
on the
When was the
bus.
last
Yeah.
time you
Oh,
washed
that's
your
sick.
towel?
Were they dirty bibs?
Well, I just kept my ski pants on, just got right on the bike.
Oh, there we go.
There's no mystery there, buddy. I'm sorry.
By the way, band name alert, Dirty Bibs.
Dirty bibs?
Bibs.
Yeah. Sam, you got a little sun in
Yeah.
last week, but no bikes.
No, and I blew out my back. That was
What?
awesome.
Oh, God.
QL?
No, I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to go and get imaging. It was that bad. Playing fucking pickleball.
Wow.
Pickleball. Well, it is down south.
God,
And
okay,
we're
you know
the
what?
old guys.
You know what? I'm happy to make fun of myself in this situation. I was getting my ass handed to me by my wife. I was winning a game finally. Lost 5 in a row. Winning a game finally. And I'm like, awesome. I'm a hero. Dive into the left, turn to the right, and there goes my back, and I'm down on the ground. I'm like, oh no. And I was just stuck, bent over, walking around like everybody else in Arizona.
Well, yeah, I mean,
For-
it's a pickleball place in Arizona. I'm sure there are medical staff standing by.
Yeah, and I mean, just like it was
At
great.
all
Like
points.
this community that my grandparents live in, it's 55 and over. Like the whole city is.
Well,
And
those
so-
are young bucks to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, like nobody is really 55. Everybody's like 85.
Oh, my age.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be
And so, but anyway, they have these like pools and stuff. So I was just walking in the pool every day.
You know,
And
Trying to work out.
I know a guy who knows a lot of exercises. Have you ever thought of like going to him?
PT. Yeah.
yeah. I've
Where
thought
do you
about
work
it.
now?
Doing physical therapy. He's still working. Even with a bad
Be
back.
darned.
You know, it's like the guy who paints houses for a living.
Yeah.
His house looks like shit on the outside.
Yeah.
Because he gets home and he doesn't want to go to work anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I do all
it's
of
like
these.
why you don't see me walking around acting and dancing Broadway show tunes in my living room.
Just like my
Because you live
insides.
up to the stereotype.
Yeah.
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 And your mom took away all his turtlenecks.
Yeah,
I mean,
she did.
She did. That was a true story.
My wife did.
Messed up.
I had a black one. It wasn't a full turtleneck. It was kind of halfway
Like
up.
a mock neck.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And she took it away from me. She's like,
Jesus Christ.
So I've done minimal training.
"You have okay."
I mean, when I got
it's
back,
back
I
to
got
Sam
3
now.
last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
and I'm gone for 3 this week. But
I got 3 in this last week and 1 weight training day. So it was strength training day. It wasn't what I'd hoped for. And this week's probably going to be even worse. My first workout this week will be tomorrow, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And then the weekend. It's kind of funny. I direct theater, and so this weekend I went in and was working on lights and going up and down ladders and stuff like that. My watch actually registered it as one of my hardest workouts of the month. Just because I call it hauling rocks, because in the theater we only have so much storage space, but we have so much shit. It's 20 pounds of shit in a 5-pound sack. And I'm constantly moving stuff and stacking stuff. And I had to get to some of this stuff because you don't throw stuff out. You never like, well, this is a little makeshift thing that's supposed to look like a bed on wheels. And I'm like, oh, I need the old bed on wheels. And so I'm climbing up to get it and stuff like that and hauling this stuff all over the place. And someday I'm going to be found dead on the stage. I will have fallen off a ladder on a Saturday, and it will have been like spring break, and people come the next Monday, and I'll just be stinky.
All because you said Macbeth.
Yes.
stinky.
I don't believe in that theory. I thought that's a stupid superstition, but I hold true for other people. But for people who don't know, you're not supposed to say Macbeth in the theater. It's a cursed
Why?
play. It's a cursed play. Yeah, something bad's going to happen if you say it.
You'll get spots
Have
on
you
your
guys
hands.
done
You'll
that play?
scrub your hands like you wouldn't
What?
believe.
Have you guys done that play?
Not Macbeth, but when I was in college, we used to actually I'd take my actors out on stage and they'd have to scream it at the top of their lungs.
Oh, that's evil.
Just
Get it out of your system.
You know, there's
I
somebody.
don't believe in it.
You know, there's somebody though that like deeply upset.
Oh,
that it was
hell
just
yes.
like rocking in bed right now.
Oh, yeah. Most theater teachers would be really pissed off about
They're
it.
blaming
Jackson,
their-
did you have some true believers in college?
I mean, not really. It was it never really came up. It was
Really?
kind of, you know.
All right. Is anybody doing any cross training other than strength?
I just did my yoga.
Just yoga?
I got those weights.
You have them?
I think I told you guys about. I got like one set of adjustable weights. It's like
Yep.
0 to 50.
Are you doing anything with them? You said you have them.
Yeah, like 3 days a week with
Oh, so you are. Okay.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, remember, this is a podcast.
No, I actually like the way he did
You know,
this
you
sound.
just
there.
move your arms and
Yeah,
like.
there you go.
you know.
I'm walking in a pool.
With the dogs. As you
Jackson,
work.
No,
You're doing a
just
lot of
human
strength.
pool.
I'm doing a lot of strength. But
Yeah.
what I was going to say is I turned my attention to one person specifically. I would love to get back into soccer again. I've been thinking about it a lot.
What are you playing him for?
He goes soccer around.
Last time he played soccer, he
Well,
I
you
have
a spouse.
connections.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's why I look
Okay.
towards
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
a rec league?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not looking to take things seriously.
Indoor?
Yeah.
Like indoor, outdoor. I've got too much of that shit up here to not use
not
it a
apply it.
little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love
Yeah.
to get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you end
That's
up with
good
too much of that,
cross-training.
too much
Yeah.
knowledge about a sport in your head, you build a fucking studio in your basement and waste way too much money having assholes drink all your beer.
I know. Well, they haven't done that for my house yet.
But
Not
you keep
speaking from
inviting us
experience.
back, so
Well,
you know.
you just show up now.
Oh,
and
that's
I'm
true.
glad
Yeah,
to see
that's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Monday texts
we know where
are
the beer
like
is.
my
Yeah.
Monday texts are like, who's going to be here? I notice I don't say, hey, you guys want to come over? It's just like, okay, who's going to be here?
Who's thirsty?
Who's knocking on the door at 6?
Yeah, I know that Jackson has jumped on the board with the Toured Bloom.
Yeah, right on.
Yes.
I haven't officially, but
Yeah.
let's all drink to it anyway.
Anybody else signed up at least mentally?
I have.
Yeah.
I was the first one to.
You?
Did you actually sign up to
Yeah.
it? Pay money?
Yeah, he donated his money.
I'm mentally
Yeah.
there, but
And
I don't know
Ace
if
gave
it'll
me
work.
the out, which I'm just going to say it now, going to take.
You are.
100%, because like the first day I'm going to be lucky.
Explain the out though.
Yeah, okay.
Explain
Okay.
Yeah.
This director, I have to give him props.
He's
Awesome guy. He is doing great things for our sport. And Ace is the director of Tour de Bloom in Wenatchee, Washington.
Yeah.
God, I love that game.
You're drinking
I
sparkling
know, that's
water.
why I love the game. So, anyway, I signed up for this. This year, it is a 4-day, 5-stage for the Pro 1-2 field.
That's a thing
I am
of
a
beauty.
2.
That's a thing.
It
of
is.
beauty.
It
Yeah,
is. And
that's-
I'm like, I want to participate in that. So I am a 2 and I can do that. Well, immediate regret when I signed up because I was like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
And I emailed him and he goes, I'll make you a deal. You can start the first day with the pros and then I'll downgrade you after that. And then you can race with the 2-3s for the rest of the time. And I was like, deal.
Did you know that he posted that on Facebook?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
That
so
if
you
you want to
can-
race, it doesn't count against you or for you.
You can show up to the first day, get your ass handed to you, and then be extremely demoralized and fatigued
With
for
the
the
pros.
first day.
Yeah.
meeting up with some
For
of the
the
people that we
next
saw
first
in
stage.
Montana.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is stage one?
Yeah.
What is this?
It's a road race.
It's 65 miles and over 10,000 feet of climbing.
Oh, good.
I'm going to get
that goes up to
blown up.
But for the people like me and you, David, if you choose the exact same route that I do, it's pretty much the exact same thing we did in Missoula. So it's a time trial road race crit.
On
two
Sat-
two
No,
road
there's
races.
there's 2 road races.
Yeah.
Well,
Friday.
Yeah, because it's a Friday,
Friday.
Saturday,
isn't
Sunday.
Friday only for the ones
No.
twos though?
Thursday.
That's
Thursday
Thursday.
is.
I have a race Thursday,
Oh,
and then I have
that
the road
might
race
mean-
Friday.
What?
That might mean I'm out.
Why?
No.
It's a Friday,
take a
Saturday,
day
It-
off.
Sunday.
it's a
Just
great
take it off.
course. It's
We'll
a great
see.
the Friday course is like the Palouse.
Did you think it was just-
even
that Waterville?
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, Waterville.
I thought it was
Oh, yeah,
Saturday,
you'll-
Sunday.
With Friday,
So
Saturday, Sunday.
Waterville, which is rolling farm, open farm, something that we
Killer
you-
crosswinds.
Yeah, exactly. You would race really well there. The time trial is Merck style, and it's flat as a pancake. Then the crit, which you'll do well in, and the road race finishes on a short little 1 kilometer climb. So
It's a
Seriously.
road race, and
So
is the
if
road
it's-
race the same that goes through like Leavenworth or something?
Yeah, it's near. It doesn't go through.
God,
Leavenworth.
that is
it
a
starts in
cool
Plains and it
course.
goes around Lake Wenatchee, and then finishes up towards.
Are you
Plains.
wondering if that's where I crashed out the Peloton?
Oh,
And you
That-
lost.
Is that the one where I'm still
Yeah,
missing half
part
of
of your
my right
cleat.
shoe? Yeah. Is that the same one?
Yeah.
boy, we
That's that
promoted Tour de Bloom.
We
drink.
surely did. Yeah. I would go if, and this is going to sound horrible, if your dog died.
Yeah, and I would go if my dog died.
I'm not even gonna knock on
If
wood.
my wife is watching this right now, I'm in trouble.
You
when I
would
get
be.
home.
You are in trouble. No, and that's cool that you're doing that. But I'm not going to go just to race alone. I
was gonna.
I did. Well, you wouldn't go.
Yeah, I was ready
would-
to go. Ask my wife.
You've
I
been
told
ready to
her,
go to
"This
a
is
lot
on
of
my
races,
list.
puppy boy.
This is it. This is it. I'm doing this one in a Freda, guaranteed, only at RC3. Those are my 3-stage races. And I'm hoping Montana.
Afraid it's not a stage.
Afraid
So-
it's a day race.
It is tied in with Tour de Bloom, so they do like
But it's a lot of climbing, isn't it?
the last day is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I already looked it up. I can't do it. I have other stuff. I have
When is
both.
it?
June 22nd, 3rd, 24th.
I'm free
25th,
then.
something
We
like
are
that.
losing a shit ton of our audience who don't live in this region.
I know.
But,
They're like tuning
But I
out.
would do that. I would do
No, we're
that.
talking bike races, though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Let me ask you this one. Speaking of which, I know somebody who signed up for an event this weekend after some coercion and a little liquid courage. Have you ever imbibed and signed up for an event?
No.
Has anybody ever had a couple little drinky poos and gone, fuck yeah, let's do it?
That's how I got it.
None of you, David, you haven't?
Yeah, you have.
Probably. I think I had a few beers in me when I signed up for the Whiskey 50 this year.
And what about, is that the Arizona one?
Yeah, I just was kind of, because I've been thinking about it. I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it.
Fuck yeah.
Let's do it.
And now they have all, like, Bike Reg has all your info saved. I don't even have to input anything. It's like, and register.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your wife goes, "Why are these credit card
What
bills?"
is bike reg?
Yeah. Nothing.
Don't worry about it.
It's honey. It's my girlfriend. She'd be like, I can deal with that. Just as long as there's any goddamn bike races you keep signing up for.
Yeah.
It's
You
my
keep
girlfriend.
donating money too if you're me.
We kind of did that the other night with it's not an event, but we've been talking about going to Italy for a bike trip, and
Really?
we had a few drinks the other night and bought plane tickets. So
Oh, really? This year?
yeah, in August. So
Wow.
now I got to make that happen. But
When in
Wow.
August do you miss Montana?
I don't know. That was like my concern.
Oh.
I realized.
It's like middle of August 15th area.
Oh well, August 20th, but August 15th is a Thursday. I know that because I have to take my board. exam.
I can tell you this for pretty much guaranteed fact. Both Belgian Waffle Ride and Leadville were IPA fueled.
Yeah.
Both of them. And the first one was Leadville, and I just clicked on it. I'm like going, fuck, it's a lottery, and it's not like I'm going to get in January 3rd. Oh no, honey, can we go to Colorado? And can I ride 100 miles on my mountain bike?
With no air.
Yeah, and those were those. Definitely. Has alcohol or anything else ever interfered with a race? Let's be honest. Let's pull back the curtain. Any regrets from your youth that you would like to confess to? Some bad decisions you have made due to alcohol. And Jax is going to basically bow out of this because number one, his dad's here. Number two, he's pure as driven snow.
No, I'm 24 and married man, so I'm not too worried about what you think of me anymore. But to be honest, no, I will bow out of this question as well. I don't really drink that much.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I know I'm better than all of you.
Can't wait for your story.
Is one in particular?
No.
Which one? Yeah.
I'm thinking collegiate racing.
That was
Collegiate racing is-
I think you're thinking of food poisoning though.
Okay.
I got violently ill and then had an amazing crit race the next day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the state collegiate state championship and I won.
Wow.
I just sandbagged the back of the race the whole time because I was up all night vomiting. And then I had a good sprint. It just came out of nowhere. So, but I mean,
Tactics
like,
101 with David
no,
Wiggles.
we were at Montana last year. I had quite a few drinks that night and
Yeah.
still kicked all y'all's butts. Okay, I mean you flat it out, doesn't count, but
Yeah.
I don't regret that.
And I'm 60. That
Really?
doesn't count either.
Yeah.
I feel like when when I was in college, I did a lot of riding with a group of racers who like prided themselves on being able to like stay out late, have a good time, and go to a crit and not get dropped. That was like
not win, but not get dropped.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm talking like 1-2 crits. Like we would go to like the big California because I went to college in California. We would go to the big crits and not get dropped after a night of drinking, and that was like.
That was
Thump your chest
Yeah.
sort of thing.
We
And
don't
some of them would
condone
do
a
well.
life of alcohol on this podcast,
No.
by the way,
No.
but sometimes you do some stupid shit when you're young. Jackson, I think COVID screwed up your youth, though, too.
Yeah,
You didn't have any chances to do something stupid.
I didn't get my 21 through 23. I would say I would say like 22.
Yeah.
Those 2 years were kind of taken away.
And those
But are we talking bike racing is what you missed?
Literally everything.
Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
talking like really bike racing. Like
Yeah.
there's like
Yeah.
COVID just killed everything.
Yeah,
Like it was already dying and it just like destroyed it, which like that was the time in which I was racing the most.
Yeah.
Well, even like my 21st birthday was genuinely like the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
So like I didn't get a 21st birthday really. I didn't get. I mean, even 22, I was kind of like still locked down.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
I will admit, we used to have a series called the Third Sundays series here in Spokane, and it was the third Sunday of every month.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a couple in college that I went to. I shouldn't say this. I might have been still a little buzzed at the start line.
Yeah.
And I still could finish. I mean, that was the beauty of being 19, 20, 21. Wait, no, I mean 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
Right.
Whoops. Kids.
I'm trying to remember that series. Who put it on?
Arrivee. The club that basically is sitting in this room right now started in 1983,
And
and now it's five guys sitting in a bar.
but what year was that?
Drinking free beer.
Because
yeah.
I mean, anything local, I raced.
Probably like 86, 87, 85,
Yeah,
6, 7,
then
kind of a thing
probably-
like that. Yeah. And we always finished by, here where I go, taking the people listening out of the show. We always finished by SFCC up there.
Oh, yeah,
up that climb,
Yep.
that reverse of the Bloomsday course. And it was great finish. I can't believe we could do races on those busy roads back then, but we were, city would just like, close off a lane. Who cares? Yeah, so we did.
Good luck.
Or Gina would just put down cones and just say, lane's closed.
Yeah. People would
That's
question.
probably what Gino
That's
would
probably
do.
what he did. That's probably what he did. Next question. How are you guys planning to watch bike races this year? Has anybody found a solution? I know Paul has. Paul
I've
and I are
given
going to
up.
share this. You've given up. Jackson, you've given up?
I mean, I have your passwords to everything, but so that works a lot of the time. But it's also tough because like Flow Bikes is doing one of those things where it's like you have to be on the
share.
same Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
it's like I probably won't watch Flow Bikes stuff,
Yeah.
which is like a lot of stuff, which sucks. But
Yeah.
I just-
David? Sorry.
I was gonna say I just think I hate that we're back to a point where we have to scramble for everything and pay half a paycheck for 2 races.
Don't you feel like GCN broke up with us? It's like they were the best boyfriend/girlfriend you could ever have. You were
liked
really
the
excited about the
parents.
relationship.
I-
You liked their parents, and they were fun to hang around with. And then all of a sudden, they just went, I don't really want to do this anymore.
You're
See,
stuck
I
looking
disagree
at
with
your
that
faults.
scenario because their parents were Discovery Warner Brothers. They
Oh,
were
her
bad.
pa-
This
the
is
parents-
a Romeo and Juliet thing. That's
The
what
parents took
That's
him
right.
or her away.
That's right.
It's all
And
about
she's
Taylor Swift.
and GCN is Juliet, and she was trying to fake and to figure out how to save this relationship. And we foolishly pulled the trigger and said, we can't help you. We'll just go on.
Gosh, that's really a good idea. That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah. It's a shame.
I owe a mild apology to Flow Bikes. Because last I checked, they were still airing Little Caesars commercials within the last 200 meters, where the screen of what was going on would get smaller and the ad would go on the side. Okay, they don't do that anymore.
I did get a couple ads.
You did?
hmm
Oh, okay.
But they're off to the side.
Yeah.
They're not the main
Oh.
screen.
Okay.
They're off. There was a Mercedes.
If you're
ad.
paying that much money, there should not be ads.
They've come a long way since the pandemic. I subscribed a year of Flow Bikes. Paul, I think, did too. $150 for a year.
Which I would have paid for GCN and been really happy.
1,000%.
I would have paid $300.
I would have paid $300. I'd have paid $1 a day for
Yeah,
GCN.
me too. Easy.
Yeah. And with it's not cheating. It's not illegal to have a VPN. And Flow Bikes thinks I live in Canada now. And so you get the bike races. But there are some caveats. You got to figure, like, you can't AirPlay to a TV through Apple TV unless you're on a laptop or a computer. For example, here in the studio, I can have my computer on a VPN and transmit it to the monitors in the studio. I can do it upstairs as long as I'm on a laptop. But an iPad or a phone will not aircast because it thinks it's in a different network. That's that thing where, Jackson, you can't use it. So you can't share. But the pluses are I watch cyclocross and the Tour Down Under, and I'm feeling so happy again. It's worth it.
It's more
think it's
of the because for me it was the fact that I could just open up GCN app and everything was right there.
It was there, yeah.
Like having to go through Flow Bikes and then go through all these other,
Yeah.
it's
Little
just
doors, open this door to get into that.
You still
It-
do
it's
have.
just like-
We still did have to VPN though,
Right.
through GCN to be able to convince it what was going on.
The process is pretty close to GCN now, but I don't know. There's just the format, like you say. Just you knew what races are on. You can do that with Flow Bikes, but it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. The menu, I like the layout of GCN Plus, but way
much
better.
easier.
So
Some of the negatives I'll also add in, and I don't mean to insult a legend, but I spent so many years away from Phil Liggett that I'm Phil's not on top of his game as much as he used to be anymore, and that just happens. That's just a part of life. And I don't want to insult Phil, but I guess I am insulting Phil. He stumbles. He sometimes gets things wrong. Actually, quite often gets things wrong. Robbie McEwen was saying some things, and Phil was actually kind of staunchly disagreeing with him, like I'm the boss. And it's like, Phil, you're wrong. Robbie knows his shit. And so that was hard to deal with. And the replays do take a while to become available. I know, Paul, you watch it live all the time. For me, it was like, hey, the race is over. Click. Oh, it's the click. Come on, click. God damn it. GCN, it was immediately available right after the race. And that's what I really appreciated, but they don't do that.
I haven't tried it on flow bikes, but GCN, if you came in like,
You could-
with the last hour, you could like
rewind 4
rewind.
hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that was really nice
I don't know
too.
if flow
So
you can do that or not.
yeah. Did anybody now? Speaking of, see Wout's win over the weekend in
Was that
Benidorm?
cyclocross?
Yeah.
Was that where his seat came off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did everybody see the highlights at least?
Yeah.
I mean,
Seat
to
post
be able
just
to
straight up the.
to be able to just, I mean, even to have it just gouge your butt cheek is just because I don't think he saw it fly off.
No,
And
he
Until he
sat
sat down.
on it,
He
and then he's like,
popped down. Yeah, exactly. And that's gotta. I mean, a seat post is a painful.
Well, he had the shell there. I saw a picture of it. I kept rewinding to see how much was left. There's kind of a mini part of the shell, so it's not just the rails.
Okay.
So there's kind of that. It looks like a little bit of a resin type
Yeah.
bracket, but there was no saddle part. I mean, it was just for his taint to make contact.
Okay.
But he still sat down. I'm thinking he had probably 100 meters to go yet, or 200 meters
Yeah.
to go. I'm thinking, why is he sitting down? And that's why if you look, he's done this salute before, but
How he
stood
did that,
on the-
locking the knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he stood up. You couldn't salute sitting on that saddle.
Yeah.
So,
It was impressive. It was incredibly impressive.
Where did the saddle go?
so what happened was
Barriers.
Yeah, he has this giant lead. He had this
Into
giant
it.
lead, and there's some barriers. So he dismounts instead of jumping him, bunny hopping him.
He tried to play it safe.
He plays it safe, and it looked like his back wheel just hit a bump, and it kind of moved up when he swung his leg over, and then he caught it, and then he fell on top of his bike, and the saddle hit the ground, and then when he picked it up,
Yeah.
it just went flying.
It's like
separated.
when he picked it up, he tried to straddle his bike again and kicked it off.
yeah.
It was already broken at
Broken,
that point
yeah.
in time.
Mhm.
So it was not
a
good.
little bit of a panic.
Yeah.
But I have to say, Vanderpool,
Yeah.
that guy's a monster.
He crashed,
Yeah.
but his attacks on that paved climb, I don't know if you guys
Ridiculous.
seen that highlight.
No.
Where
Ridiculous.
he was going by people like they were going backwards.
Even Wout. But Wout
Yeah.
didn't see him coming, and he was able
Yeah.
to bridge up, so he's kind of caught off. But, I mean, He
Yeah.
flew up that hill.
Unbelievable speed. I think the worlds are his if he keeps the rubber side down.
Yeah,
Matthews.
Wout's the only one that could ever
Yeah.
touch him, and he's not doing worlds.
Yeah.
So
Does anybody ever recall a rider having 2 rainbow jerseys in the same year, other than what Matthew's doing now? and
from 2
could very
different
likely-
disciplines?
Yeah, yeah.
God, what was her name? She
Mariana
did-
Voss.
No, it wasn't Mariana
No.
Voss.
Has she won a cross
This-
and a?
Yeah.
I
don't know if
feel
it's the
like
same
she
year.
has been.
I don't know if it's the
There
same
was
year.
somebody that did cyclocross, mountain biking, and road biking.
Tom Pidcock.
Nope,
Nope.
it's a girl.
Well, I guess
Oh,
technically.
yeah, you're
though,
right. There is. I'm trying to think now.
She's
right.
French. I cannot
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
her name.
Oh,
right now.
Pauline Ferrand
That's
Prevot.
Yep.
it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. She
Yeah.
held 3 in a year.
3 in a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically Tom Pidcock did hold 2.
Mountain bike and
And cross
Yeah.
cross. Yeah.
So-
Okay. God, it's just
for a short little bit.
Yeah.
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 Tell them.
Not to talk about his height, but
oh.
but actually,
Dun-dun-dun.
Hey, oh, yeah. So, and Matthew did discuss after the race that he basically, after the crash, he's like, okay, I'm going to just take it easy. The race is over, and he needed to prepare for the upcoming world. So, David just poured me a perfect beer.
Nice.
It's
No,
very cool.
there's got to be more.
No, I like it like that. That's how I like it.
He doesn't like head.
That's a good pour.
I'm gonna talk like one of the Bachelorette.
But he also likes
I'm gonna
second
use-
crack coffee too.
I'm gonna use vocal fry. I'm gonna have to talk about vocal fry, where I rest up my voice and make it sound like I'm pretending to be intelligent. Has anybody ever gone to a race and just use it as preparation? Like, have you ever
Every race I go to.
because Paul, I know that you and I, when we were younger, were able to do this because there were a lot more races. You could call a race a training race. And you could just kind of go, hey, I'm just going to, do this. But now the races are so few and far between. What are your thoughts on I guess, virtual sandbagging, where you're just like going, I'm going to go out, I'm going to do some crazy shit in this race, and I don't care how I finish.
That's every Thursday night.
Yeah.
Local races.
Local.
Races.
Yeah, but there's no more like races. There's not enough races anymore, to do that. I used to when I was in college, and just after college, it was very much like what you guys did. I would, have almost a race every weekend. Like if there's 4 weekends in a month, I was racing 3 of them at least.
So the problem with me on that was my intention starting. I'd get in a position where I think I could win. I never held to that. It's like, no, just pull back the reins. This is because next weekend or this.
You would pull back the reins.
No, I wouldn't.
Would not.
Yeah,
No,
I do not have the discipline. If you're in a position to win a race.
That was going to be one of my questions.
Yeah.
It's like, can you, if you were in the position, it's like, I'm in the break. Oh my God, I'm in the break. Nope, I'm training.
Yeah.
Hit the brakes.
That's happened to me.
Really?
Early season race, and we had almost like a full squad of guys there, and I found myself in the break because I just threw out a random attack to be like, yeah, this is the training ride. I'm just gonna, do an effort, and I found myself off the front, and I'm like, oh shit! And then some guy bridges up, and he's like, let's go. Like, okay.
But you did.
And then I did, just because, yeah, sure, let's follow through with the effort. And then we found ourselves way out there, and yeah.
So you didn't stick to the original plan,
No,
which was to
no.
do something stupid and then let it go,
Yeah.
and then just get in your
I think
car
I still
and
did
eat ice
something
cream.
stupid. I still lost the race.
Really?
But
Has anybody ever dropped out of a race when things are going well? Like
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
for training, I got to stick to a plan. I'm training for something,
have you?
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Races
I've
are
shut down, not
expensive.
quit, but and this is a few times where I'm thinking I'm not going to win, and I put my effort in
yeah.
where I'll just hang back in the back of the pack or chit chat with somebody after
Really?
we got dropped. But no.
Is
no
it
quitting.
better to take the win today than hope for the win tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're never gonna get it back.
Okay, so it's like I'd rather take, I don't know, E3 today
It's there.
and maybe not win Paris-Roubaix.
Or
Yeah.
Flanders, which
Or
is
Flanders.
right,
Or
that
Flanders.
weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it, for me, game time mentality. Like the second I get into there, like I'm full gas. Like I'm stepping on the throat. I don't care. Like I'm winning no matter. Like if I get in a position, I'm not holding back.
Yeah.
And I would also say though that like I'm a believer. My cards in the deck of like if you are that good, like good shape, you probably can win it all.
I mean,
Or you just got really lucky and you didn't deserve to be there in the first place, and you better win.
Yeah.
I think at the level that we race, the excuse of like, oh, I'm saving it for the next whatever, it doesn't really make sense for the world tour level where they're targeting massive races, sure. But if you should never give up a local race because you're targeting another local race.
But what if you want to keep the cards close to the chest?
For what though?
I don't want my
He's just playing
competitors to
devil's
know that I'm
advocate that
flying.
you can sprint well
This
and
is
all
my
that.
job to play
Yeah,
devil's
yeah, yeah.
advocate.
But that
In case you guys
I
didn't
just
know.
like for what is what I'm getting at. We just don't have the race scene anymore.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
back in the day when there were more races and you
Yeah.
maybe had bigger targets, but nowadays we're all going to like less than 6 a year.
Let's say you do Tour de Bloom drink.
Yeah.
And that Thursday before, or let's say the week before, you're in a break and things get heated and there's a good crowd. And you are a week away from going to Tour de Bloom where you're doing, well, you know who your competitors are.
Yeah.
Would you say, push it? I can attack and win this, or do I sit back and save it for that next week.
I can go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about if the race is sketchy as hell? If it's a wet crit and
I pulled out of those many
That's
times.
different.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not
That
trying
doesn't
to get
count.
hurt.
I'm not trying to get
it
hurt.
doesn't count. I had a coach that told me to always sprint. This isn't really along this. It's the opposite of sandbagging. Always sprint, no matter where you are in the pack. Does that ring true? By the way, there have been times when I've been like 30th in a pack coming across a crit sprint, and I've sprinted and I've ended up top 10 because everybody's going, "Oh, I didn't win," and you just go boom, and you pass by them all, and next thing you know, let's say it's a stage race, you're in top 10.
Yeah.
I had one experience where I did very well sprinting from the back, thinking like I'm not going to win. Let's just see what I have. And I ended up in like 4th.
Yeah,
it was kind of crazy. But other than that, I mean, I'm usually of the mentality of like things are about to get crazy. I'm not there. I'm not trying to like be in the mix and get hurt. From if you're not in the sprinting position before the sprint, most of the time you're just going to be causing trouble sprinting for like
but if
a
you're
non-podium
swerving around
position.
people, I mean, you're not like I'm not like taking chances.
I don't
like,
even
elbowing or anybody or anything like that. But I stay on the gas.
Yeah, you stay on the gas.
Yeah, like the last Derby days that happened, and Logan Owen was over there and just throttling everybody. I found myself in an insanely good position, like top 5. And I just threw up the parachute and said, "See you guys later." That was like going into the final lap because I'm not about to do that. Like I don't have that mentality.
Yeah.
Like either, I mean, like I've only won
Jax
from
is like,
small.
It's back. It's crazy. Like I don't know what it is. It's like I had a winter off, and it's like I'm like ready to like fucking throttle. Like I just want. Yeah.
I am not that way. I've only won from breakaways. I've never won in a group sprint.
Yeah, the race to me is always before the.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like I don't like the races where everybody's in the pack, and then it's just a group sprint at the end. I would rather have it get interesting halfway
I don't
through.
mind that situation sometimes. Sometimes the brain just kicks in and you're like going, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm in asshole mode.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling than just reacting off of instinct.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
This
it's
is
not
fun.
for me.
No, I don't mind it either. Yeah,
This is why we make such a good group, though, because like
we've just given away our entire tactics.
yeah, I mean totally, but I think that's also just evident in how we've always raced. Like, but you know, David and I racing have never had a person that are like, I'll be the person in the final kilometer.
Yeah.
Like David and I are like, if we haven't won, we're just coasting across the finish line.
Really, really.
Trying to blow up first. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm trying to blow up.
yeah.
I want to make everybody hurt.
All right, how am I doing on time? I'm gonna jump to the another aspect of winter training and winter and spring training and racing, and even all year round dealing with illness. Since the COVID outbreak, things have definitely changed in terms of health awareness. We could all probably agree. I don't know about you guys. I've been sick a lot less since COVID. I vividly remember riding though through colds. Not to mention getting a cold at least 3 to 4 times a year. And not so much anymore. So, how do we in this room, first of all, how do you avoid getting sick without being like paranoid? I mean, and you know, Jackson and I work in, I call them
Germ factory.
glorified petri dishes. Yeah. With kids. David, you might almost be literally in a petri dish.
Yeah. Bathing.
And my wife brings everything
home to you.
I
Yeah.
have been sick more since COVID than I have.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
And so we've all got some realm of somebody in exposure zones. Yeah. How do we avoid it? How do you guys do it? Are there any tricks? Are there supplements? Are there just flat out avoidance? Do you elbow bump people? Which is bullshit. When they said elbow bump, that's less distance than a handshake. But
True. It's just that most people, and I think that it was really hard for people to get their like heads around the idea that like you stop touching your eyes, your nose, your mouth.
yeah.
So many people do that, right? And so that's, I mean, David can speak better to viruses and all that.
How
but
do you turn a page if you don't lick your finger?
Yeah.
Well, I caught myself in the
Especially when
grocery
David
store.
walks in with the chart and he's just
I catch myself in the grocery store with the bags. I'm like going, God damn it.
Wasn't it fun though in the vegetable aisle with those little thin bags? You watch
Yeah,
people
that's
with
what
the
I'm
mask
talking about.
on, and they're like going, you know
can't
what I
open
found?
them.
I just go to the vegetable area.
I touch the produce that's wet, which is
Yeah.
disgusting right there.
Exactly.
You
What
lick
are the
your
options?
fingers before you touch those bags?
See, I saw when I was in Portland.
How do you get them
I
aboard?
spit.
See, I was going to say, so what I saw in Portland was you don't have to lick your fingers. What you do is you take the bag in between your fingers and you rub them together, and that opens it. Like you rub the
Okay.
bag in between your fingers, and you
Just
go like this,
Like your Mr. Miyagi.
I guess I've
Yeah.
never had a hard
Curing
enough
Daniel's
time
son's
just
pain.
doing
and
this.
it like separates it, so
Really?
you can
Yeah.
get to
Okay.
it. Yeah.
The key to that is that you have any grip. When you get in your 60s,
You
I
don't
mean,
have
I
a
can't
thumb.
grab.
Yeah.
It's
Dry
like
as a
this is
bone.
like
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got cracks all over my fingers and
Yeah,
Yes.
I just, and I'll eventually just
can't
like,
do
lick my fingers and grab it and open the bag. And then next thing I know, I've got my own saliva on my, and then I grab a hunk of broccoli.
I
and that
use-
one's too soft, so I throw it back.
well, I always try and find my vegetable.
My
And
gift to others.
the vegetable that I see that I want, the one with the moisture. That's where I get my hands on,
Oh, okay.
and that's how I do it.
Oh,
I
so
grab
you
the
do
bag.
that first. That's a good way to do it.
Well, I think there's 3 things that you can do that are going to cause you absolutely no harm and could potentially keep you from getting sick. And it's get enough sleep, wash your hands, and if you live in a northern climate, take vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I mean, you can't. There's no magic. I mean, masking is why we're all not getting sick. But then now we have these variants of other viruses that are popping up. You know, masking in large areas probably still a good idea. I do it when I'm in a very crowded space. Still, we're masking at the hospital again, not for COVID this time, but for other respiratory illnesses that have cropped up this year. But those 3 things in general, and then if you want to add on masking in large places to prevent respiratory pathogens, that's probably the best thing you can do is prevent yourself from staying sick.
And wash.
Yep, wash the hands, get enough sleep, and then take a vitamin D supplement.
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Because this sleep thing is not happening right now. I'm at the point where it's just like, bing, 3 o'clock in the morning, I am awake. Because my brain starts running.
Mm-hmm.
Adulthood sucks. Because I remember, has anybody ever written? What was your philosophy on training sick, though? How do you guys? How soon do you just like? Okay, I have a virus. I'm not going to touch the bike until it's completely out of my system, or do you guys kind of cheat?
When I was younger,
Yeah.
I rode no matter what.
Yeah.
I rode through it, and it didn't matter if I was leaving track marks on my chamois. I was going out. So
There's a visual for everybody.
But now, to me, it's like not everything takes a little bit longer. So I try and pull back on the reins a little bit.
Cycling
and
version of a-
sleep a little bit more.
Cycling version of a Choco Taco.
Here we go. Enjoy.
That just popped into my head. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't in my chest, I would always train.
Is that?
If I
Yeah,
had
I think you
colds
said
and
that
stuff.
last week.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
if it's
But-
in your head.
If it's above the head, fevers, that sort of thing, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Like if it's systemic. But like for me, even in the chest, if I really wanted to ride, I mean, I wouldn't push it. Like I wouldn't make myself ride if I was sick. But it's just you just dial it back. Don't push
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Because you still need to recover, and just being out there is more effort than it should be. So.
Yeah, and I would only ever do like if I was gonna ride it was like crazy easy rides, and they wouldn't be long. I wouldn't go out and do like
river
a
loop or something. Or
yeah.
a hangman loop. Yeah.
like a 20-mile loop at most.
And then
slow.
don't put it on Strava because your average speed's down,
Like
and it was only 20
15,
miles.
16.
I
yeah.
so miss the days when you could show up to a start line and lie about your training.
You could still do that. You can hide all your rides.
Mhm.
Do it.
But how will people give me kudos?
Well, what do you got to play into the fear factor. You got to,
I need people to like me.
you need people to look at you at the start line and be like, oh shit, he's trained a lot. We're screwed.
Really?
Yeah.
Get in their
That
head.
never works.
How will they ever do that?
Well, it's not
I mean,
about-
look at me. I might as well have has been tattooed on my forehead.
So I know, Pat and I know a guy who trained really well, and he could hammer you.
Yeah.
But in the races, he choked. Cat
Cat
4?
four? Yeah.
That was his nickname. He could not advance. I mean, in a race, he would choke. So That's never been. I don't care how many times.
I agree with you. My biggest training season, I remember,
Thailand?
Yeah,
You were
it was
gutless.
when I started with Thailand, and I was doing 400-mile weeks in January, and I was gutless that year. But
No
people,
kick.
but at
you could
the
also
start
sit,
line,
yeah.
people were just like, "Oh my God, David's been riding like well over 1,000 miles a month. He's gonna kick our butt." No, I didn't, but but they thought it.
Yeah.
You're
I
pretty
mean, just
tired.
wasn't
All that
conducive
matters.
to like of the local racing. If it
Yeah.
was like we were
Big-
doing
yeah.
bigger days and hill climbs, you would have smoked everybody. But
Yeah.
What's the plan once healthy again, though? How quickly after you give the clean bill of health do you double down? Do you like, oh my God, I got to train twice as hard? Or do you just reset the plan and kind of start over? Or do you just take off from where you left off?
I mean, I was sick, I will say, probably a third of the year last year. I think every other week I got sick. And coming back from that, I was always like just trying to get back into what I typically would do. It wouldn't be like double down because I don't think that that's really any help. But I think that like just getting back into what you would typically do would be fine. I mean, I have no medical backing on that, but that's what I found. And I think that's a good reason as to why I felt like shite last year, was just because every single week it was just sick after sick after sick. And weirdly enough, I'm going to knock on wood because I don't want to jinx this, but it's like I think that from that immune systems have really like strengthened because of it.
Yep.
Go play in the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lick the dirt. I guess there's a scene in Saltburn where there's some licking involved, and it's really gross.
Oh.
it's a movie, right?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, there's no way. It
No,
looked
it's a
weird.
documentary, just random people walking around.
I thought it was a
Licking dirt.
TV show.
Yeah. Well, this is, I guess he's like licking a bathtub. Not to spoiler alert. After somebody got out of it. Yeah.
That's just disturbing.
Yeah. So speaking of getting sick, let's shift off into our segments tonight. We got all kinds of segments tonight. First off, I don't know why he gets not only his theme, but he gets the first bump tonight.
Some bullshit.
It is bullshit. Well, if you drank something other than seltzer.
I didn't get a drink because of that.
Tonight's Ask Dr. David. He's even making sound. Tonight's question tags on to the topic really well of sickness. We all know, as you said earlier, proper, consistent sleep is important, but with adulthood and life stress, it's not necessarily a guarantee. Some have to resort to some sleep aids in order to get the proper hours in. Melatonin, probably the most popular of such sleep aids. Although, I found, a little whiskey and, maybe a gummy don't hurt.
Yep.
Hey, it's Monday somewhere. What are the benefits of melatonin use, and more importantly, what could some negative effects on performance from melatonin be involved? And your brother's being a quite dramatic asshole behind you, making all kinds of noise and sound
Very
and
obstructive.
hitting you with the bar
He's trying to
fridge and
upstage
stuff
his
like that.
brother.
He is. He's just a little whiner. Not gonna deny. Yeah.
I know who I am.
Does anybody here take melatonin at all?
No.
To anybody use a sleep aid?
No.
I don't either. And
Well, other than whiskey and a gummy, that's what you
those don't
use.
count.
isn't it? Oh,
Those
okay.
are just those are daddy's
Daily-
pills.
daily.
Oh, natural.
Ain't made in nature.
Yeah, that's
Can't be
right.
wrong. So
It's
it sat out a
organic,
little
man.
longer.
I think that melatonin's a good one because unfortunately it's over the counter and widely available and advertised as something that can help you fall asleep, because it does. But I think we use it wrong a lot of times. I think people reach for it too soon before trying to address the underlying reason as to why they can't shut off at night and fall asleep. So we always talk about sleep hygiene in medicine, and when I see people in the office, that's what I first try to educate them on. This has to do with like not drinking caffeine afternoon, not having alcoholic beverages within a couple hours of sleep, not eating too late, turning the TV off, avoiding blue light. Like there's so many things that our environment does that doesn't allow us to sleep well. And especially with sleep onset, which is what melatonin helps with. It helps you fall asleep. But if you do all those things and you can't sleep, it's okay to resort to melatonin. I personally use it when switching from nights to days or vice versa, very sparingly. And the reason that I use it very sparingly is that it has lasting effects for me into the day, which a lot of people that take like 10, 20 milligrams a day don't notice any effect of melatonin anymore. But that's because the physiologic dose of melatonin is 0.6 milligrams.
Wow.
0.6. So what you buy in the store minimum is 5.
Oh my God.
Yep. And most people are taking 10 or 20 a night. And all that does.
Holy shit.
So all that does is stick around into the daytime. When I have I have 5s at home and I break them in quarters, and I still the days I take melatonin,
Crush them up
I
on a
cannot,
mirror.
and then snort it. Yeah,
And snort it.
Goes straight to the brain. That's how they do it.
Yep.
Sometimes, nope, not going there.
Quicker pathway.
Personally, I still can't. I have a hard time waking up the next morning when I take a quarter of a 5.
Wow.
In the hospital, we actually have 1 milligram tablets, I believe, so I get to give people 1 milligram, which is nice because that's the studied dose. You don't need 10 or 20 milligrams of melatonin. And so, I don't know. I know there's some data out there about athletes using melatonin, and then they talk about like all the benefits for like oxidative stress and like helping people recover. But I think it's that we're combating the lifestyle that we live by helping people get, like, we don't get good sleep, and then we take melatonin to get better sleep, and that's what's helping people recover is better sleep.
Okay.
But long lasting, if you wake up and you're supposed to go on a ride and you still have 5 milligrams of melatonin circulating, and I can't imagine you're going to pedal as well.
It's going to suck.
Yeah.
Okay. That sums it up pretty well. And it's more intended for falling asleep, not staying asleep.
Yeah.
So
because you naturally
it would do me no good.
Melatonin, right? Your body naturally produces.
It's a hormone you produce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I fall asleep. I always make the joke that somebody could put a gun to my head and say, I am seriously going to shoot you in the head if you don't fall asleep in 5 minutes. I could do it, knowing that somebody was going to kill me. I could fall asleep.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not
That's
that.
a talent.
Yeah.
My
You
wife
should
hates
put it
it.
on your resume.
Yeah, my wife hates it. She's just like, you fall asleep everywhere. You can fall asleep, like we did the Hood to Coast run. And I slept underneath the benches of a van like a baby. What did you say?
I said, do you snore? And Jackson just looks at me. He's like,
I don't
shaking
snore.
his head.
You don't snore.
I don't.
You have a little. You have a little here and there.
If I drank,
It's
I
a
snore.
purr. If you drank, how many nights a week
It's
do
a
you drink?
purr?
Yeah.
You coo like a dove.
Yeah.
We might have gotten to the bottom of your sleep issue.
Yeah. How many nights? You just said so. You only if you drink. How many nights?
Sam, I only drink on days that end in a Y.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Oh, you do snore.
Intervention.
It's not like.
Do you want beer in the basement, David?
Oh, let's not do
Then
this.
shut the
Yeah.
No.
Only on Tuesdays.
To be fair, I haven't. To be fair, the last time I slept in the same room with you, it was also with Paul.
And
So-
who
Paul.
snored? I snored.
So, but both.
I'm a chainsaw.
It had
Yeah.
nothing to do with the blinds. The windows shook with Paul.
When did you guys start snoring? Like, when do I have to expect this in life?
I was at basketball camp in 5th
I don't
grade,
snore.
and I found pillows, just everybody's pillow in the bunkhouse. And I need to get me to stop snoring. So there you go.
I don't snore.
I got
it's
a lot
bullshit.
of flappy skin in the back.
Yeah, it's always been that way.
Depends on the day for you.
It does depend on the day, but most of the time I don't.
I don't know. It's
Alcohol makes sleep apnea
been
worse.
4 years.
It does. It does. Yeah. So
Well, 6.
okay, there's that segment. Let's get to our next one of our newer segments. We don't have a theme. Changing times with Paul. And I kind of wanted. We kind of touched base on it last week when the Waples weren't here. Wasn't that nice?
It was so quiet.
Yeah, it was.
Jackson and I were. Everything seemed like when you look
flowed
at
well.
you wake
It
up
did.
when you're at a lake property and you look at the lake early in the morning. It's like glass. Kind of like this countertop, except
Gently.
where these two assholes keep scraping up your counter.
Yeah, I know.
They're the ones that just
I spent Like literally 24 hours working on this fucking countertop. But anyway, it was.
No, that's
it was nice.
Jack's nuts that did that.
That was Jack's nuts. Yeah. Jack's gonna remember that night and text us in about 3 days. Talk to me about this week's changing times, Paul.
So, been around for a while.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have to say, guys, I've heard this mantra. Size doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter, and I believe
in
it.
the ocean.
And I'm referring. That's right. That's right. But I always heard it's not the size of the mast; it's how you sell the boat. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
I just thought you were going to say it's not the size of the mass, it's the portion of the ass.
Oh, God.
Good God.
All right, we're into the weeds. So anyway, size. I'm talking about tires. So when I got started in '85, the trend was like you got standard clinchers sucked. Clincher tires were that's what came on your bike. They were cheap.
You got laughed at.
Tubulars were the shit. That's where you want to ride. Even cheap tubulars outrode the best clinchers, and time has changed. I went and purchased some 28s for my bike. That's the biggest I've ever gone.
You're gonna
Really?
love it.
Now I haven't rode it yet,
You're
but
gonna love
but
it.
the thing is I've watched the industry, and I think the old world, all the world does this, is that we have a tendency if this little bit like melatonin, if I'm falling asleep at 10 milligrams, I'm going to take 20.
Yeah.
And so
More
we
is better.
started,
More is better.
and pretty
Yeah,
soon
yeah.
we started all these like GCN and all these people have been testing wider tires. Well, then there's a sacrifice because of the weight of that tire, and that's rotating weight. And I'm like, this is not making sense
Rolling
because people,
resistance?
and rolling resistance, but you're the lower, but they're saying it's less, but it depends now on the surface that you're on and what. Now there's so many variables on what size, and then for me it's like I'm just taking a breath through this. It's been like 3 or 4 years. Everybody's just trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and now proteins pretty much ride 28s and 25s in there, and there's a few oddballs like Tadej Pogacar rides like 30s or 32s sometimes or something. So. But, these guys weigh...
Good luck with that.
Yeah, but these guys weigh... People got to keep that in percentage. I mean, keep this in mind. That their body weight is like... They're 56, 60 kilos. Or down to 145 in that time. So people like me, that doesn't make sense, So anyway, I'm going to try these 28s out. And I was sitting here thinking about this. When Funny Bikes came out, the 26-inch front wheel... You had to have an 18C front tire, tubular. They made it. You remember those?
I think mine's on that bike in there. It's either an 18 or a 19.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah.
They were just because it was all about thinness. That.
That's what we rode in
Contact.
time trials. You
Yeah.
rode 19s in time trials.
And even the push for crits. I mean,
You
I
rode
never
over a
went.
bug and it broke your collarbone.
I bought some. Remember the Redmond Classic?
Oh, yeah.
110 pounds of PSI.
Do you remember the Redmond Classic?
Yeah,
back in the
yeah.
day?
Redlands? Or
Redlands.
Redlands. Yeah.
Redlands Classic. So, I went to that race in '86, not to race, but just to watch. And my sister lived in Kirkland at the time, and I brought my bike.
So it was Redmond then,
Redmond.
not Redlands. Redlands,
Redmond,
California.
Redmond
yeah.
Classic. Yeah. So, and it was huge. I mean, the biggest teams, around would in the U.S. would do it, and some European teams would come over. I was descending down a hill with my 20C, and I got a front. These tires would used to flat all the time, but it was the best clincher you could buy. Fast grip, and there was Avocet made this. And Avocet's probably dead now, but they had it was bald, and you're supposed to give you the best traction and everything. And my front tire, I'm doing 45 miles an hour on this downhill. Do you remember that downhill, Pat? You drop down and it's steep, and you had a 90.
In Redland?
in
Redmond?
Redmond.
Oh, I'm
Redmond
trying
Classic.
to think if I have.
It was crazy.
Oh,
And you
I
went
don't
down
know.
and you went. Anyway, I'm going into that corner. And that's kind of reminds me of this hookless, that your tire just went off and you're riding rim. It is not a good thing. So, but it is good to see wider. 23 was a standard, and that's all clinchers came in is 23s. And I had a race in Bothell, and it was the strangest thing is we had this weather front. The last corner to the straight there was a hailstorm that only hit that section of the course. It just like, and we would come around that corner. We had a breakaway of 6, and 2 people who had clinchers couldn't even stay upright.
Oh shit!
But I think what's happened now is that clinchers technology has gone so far that tubulars. I see myself not on tubulars anymore, and unfortunately, that then pushes me into
Tubulars.
disc brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's disc brakes on clinchers. I mean, rim brakes on clinchers is not a good combination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen those blow out.
Yeah, they're nasty.
I'm still having such a hard time with PSI. I still am to this day because I always thought that surface area, the more surface area, the slower it was. I mean, if I'm riding a tire that's 70 pounds, 60 pounds, that's gonna be like riding in mud.
You're thinking more on the. You're stuck. I think. I'm just guessing. You're stuck more on the front end of the bike, because on the back end of the bike, if you think about it in the sense of like, well, if you have more contact area, more power is going into that tire, and that's propelling you forward, right? Like if that back tire is bouncing all around because your PSI is too high, then you lose traction, and that's what their philosophy is.
And loss of energy.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say the word right because I've just finished a 9% beer, erysithesis or something. It's what it is. It's where you lose that energy when you're bouncing.
Oh, okay.
If you have contact, so on a high pressure tire, you have the idea was the smallest contact patch, the least resistant. Well, as you get wider, instead of having a long line of contact, you start getting a little bit wide. Your contact patch is an oval, a cross section, and that's where you get tractions and corners and stuff. You start pumping that thing up, and then now your contact patch is a little more elongated, and but you don't want that bouncing. And suspension, that's why suspension in cars and even when GCN did a test a long time ago with Matt Stevens when he's still on there, and they did sections of Pave with different size tires, and then a mountain bike, and the mountain bike was way faster under the same amount of watts.
Yeah.
But that's that contact. You're not losing. You're bouncing up and trying to
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
anyway, I think the Silca chart, I'm going to base it off of that, and that lowered me 10 psi.
Wow.
On that, from 25s to 28s.
So what will you run? PSI.
I run about 88 with the 25s. I'll be probably around 78, 80.
Yeah.
So
I'm like 80,
pushing 90.
But I never
Just 'cause
inflated my tires, even my tubulars over
huge boy.
90
I'm
ever.
simply huge.
Simply huge.
Yeah. I'm gonna be the fastest sprinter on this team. You guys all kiss my ass.
Good luck.
I'm gonna dust your butt. Well, maybe not Jackson.
So size does matter.
It does. That's a good one. I like that. Thanks, man. Next up we got I like to give Sam this one. This one. So Sam gets a fit tips with Bike Fit Sam courtesy of our friends at Ambassador Cycling. Check out ambassadorcycling.com. It's seriously important, you guys, especially when we talk about what we're going to talk about tonight, indoor training. I find myself not spending a lot of time out of the saddle because of the awkward nature of the bike that doesn't move. And I guess we could even lean into rocker plates and all these people who are spending thousands and thousands of dollars to get their trainers to move, which, Jesus. So I spend a lot of time seated when on a trainer. Are there any precautions or even adjustments that somebody could make to alleviate pain or discomfort when indoor training? I know because, for example, when I go in for a fit with you, I'm on a trainer, stuff like that. But, what happens to the people who are spending 2-3 hours on the trainer watching Monday Night Football the whole time seated when you don't have that liberty of freedom and movement?
Yeah, so I would answer that with saying that I do the fits on that stationary trainer, because if a problem is going to occur, it's going to occur on the trainer.
Yeah.
So like when I do a fit on somebody, they usually, I've had riders that then go and do 3 hours on a trainer.
Gee.
And they're like, no, feels good now. And it's like, okay, well, you're definitely going to have no problems on the road then.
Yeah.
Because, the road will hide so much of it with the rocking side to side, all that movement that comes into play. I think that best practice would be to have one of those rocker boards, but there's no way I'm going to spend the money on it. So I don't know. I think it's tough. I try to stand like probably every 15, 20 minutes, and you don't even have to stand for that long. Maybe do it for like 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds, just to relieve pressure. But, if you're having problems on it, it's probably because you need a bike fit. I mean, most of the time, like after I do a fit on somebody, they don't have pain on the trainer. That would be my answer.
Or numbness.
Yeah, but that's the type of stuff that comes out when you're sitting on a trainer in a prolonged position, because you should be able to sit there. Granted, that's kind of a tough thing because I wouldn't tell anybody to even ride outside for 4 hours just seated in the saddle. It's not a weight-bearing surface.
Yeah.
So
that is so weird.
Yeah.
That to say a bicycle saddle is not a weight-bearing surface.
Yeah. No, I know. They've done the best job that they can, but we're not designed as humans to sit there. We have, our quote-unquote sit bones that we place weight on, but that's not like we spend a lot of time sitting nowadays as opposed to back in the day, a lot more time standing and walking around.
You need to pedal harder.
Yeah, pedal harder,
get home faster.
And then I also think, like, as I've noticed on the erg mode, it's a little bit more difficult to stand as opposed to like if you do it the more traditional, just shifting through the gears. So, yeah.
Interesting you said that, because occasionally I rarely have numbness. But on Zwift, because you find yourself sitting more, just like what you were saying, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Ruvi, when I'm doing these courses, you are up and out of your saddle all the time. And the hills are coming thick and fast. I've never even had even close to any discomfort whatsoever.
Yep.
And that's just, I think sometimes when you're following lines, you're going to be seated. It depends on whatever your training you're doing on there. But if you're just running a natural road, that's probably why you don't have it on a road, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Is that things you're changing all the time.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, it's exactly it.
Hey, Ruby.
Yeah.
Call me.
Yeah.
And I've got to I wish I could steal like the theme from Madonna, Vogue for Jackson's segment. We're calling it style points, and I kind of threw this at you today, but I figure you are our guru when it comes to this kind of stuff, and the new helmets. And I while we're doing a couple segments, I was bringing up a couple pieces. I think I can bring this up here in terms of these helmets and stuff that is coming out in the Pro Peloton right now. For example, on the monitor behind Jackson's head, I have the new Casque helmet. Filippo Ganna wearing it. No, Velo, I don't want to subscribe, but you just got a free plug. The new Casque helmet, which kind of partially comes down on the ears, almost like a Major League Baseball cap. And that's a new trend this year. And I first of all, this segment is called Style Points, and second of all, I do want to talk about the aerodynamic purposes of it, but I also want to talk about
I don't mind Casque as much as I mind that.
What Pac has done, and I don't get me wrong, I am a huge believer in what Pac does. I've rode a Pac for the last 2 years. It's been a great helmet. This one, unfortunately, this photo doesn't have the visor on the front of it like the one Sam sent me, but it does have a substantial ear covering off the side of the helmet. Almost looks like it belongs on a time trial. So what I'd like to ask, Jackson about this is, and let's not forget Lidl Trek's helmets that look like almost two helmets put together with the back kind of fin in a different color. What makes a cool helmet? And I know there are some opinions sitting at the bar, but Jackson gets to go first.
I personally think what makes a cool helmet is one that you can wear on the bike in a setting where you feel as if you are training hard or you are racing, but also one that if, say, you go on a cruiser bike or you're commuting, you can also put on your head and you're not going to look like you're a racer.
Yeah.
And I think that funnily enough, I think that there are two brands that do it well, and I think that it's funny that I'm going to mention POC, but I think that POC, not this one that we had up here, but I think the one that I've been riding for a while.
Agreed.
And I will say I think that their well ventilated ones are fine. I think they're great. I mean, I like the look of their Aero, but not like that one, because I think that is one that you're going to look like a dork no matter what you do. So
you've been basically riding, no, yours isn't that one.
mine's a bit more covered. Mine's covered on the top.
yeah.
But I like things like that. I like Giro's both Aero and non-Aero helmets. I think that how I feel about Specialized is I don't dislike it at all. I don't think that the aesthetics of it is bad, but it's just not something that I'm going to like go out and ride. You know what I mean? And that's just how I am. It's not. I'm saying that because there are two people here that ride Specialized helmets, and I'm not throwing shade at Specialized whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just not like
They made the sock helmet. Let's not forget that.
I mean, and I would agree with you, because I think that what Specialized has done is they are very styled helmets where it's like you could look and it's like, oh yeah, that's circa 99.
Mhm.
You know, it's like in
Right.
10 years you're going to look back and be like, yeah, that was 2023.
it's a
Right.
constantly evolving fashion trend.
Yeah,
It
but
is.
like I feel like the POC helmet, like what you're talking about right here,
That's what I'm on.
That's
That's what
a
I'm on.
basic helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like those are things that are great. Like I said, things that you can almost take into a serious setting and in a casual setting, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the ones that like the POC Aero helmets, it disappoints me because I know that we look like a group of dorks a lot.
We do.
And what's so heartbreaking is that a lot of these brands push us more towards a dorky look. And I don't want to have to constantly be like, hey guys, this is a picture of me. Look at this weird helmet that I decided to put on.
Yeah.
don't
I
know.
look like a character from Mario.
Right. Because I always try and style up the sport that we do. Because I
Yeah.
think that it's not dorky, but it can very close be dorky.
Mm-hmm.
That's my helmet right there.
The Aether?
And that's also a good one.
Yeah.
That's the one I just bought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the clean lines. It's not that like
Yeah.
when you morph it together, that's when you start looking like a mushroom.
Yeah.
And not to steal from Dave Brailsford's catalog, but is it that much of a marginal gain for a normal dipshit like the rest of us?
Oh, yes. Yes.
You're going to win a
I-
bike race because of
Oh,
this.
sorry. I thought you were saying, like, is that a waste of money marginal
Oh,
gain?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
is like, pick your helmet. Like, I wear Specialized
Scared
because
me
it's
for a second
comfortable.
there. Yeah.
No, I do not believe that, like, anybody in the amateur ranks. I do believe there is probably some gains in the pro peloton. But God, in ours, no.
If you're covering the
minimal
tips of my
watts.
ears, realistically, what's it going to help?
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
want a helmet you don't think about on a 100-mile ride.
Yep.
That's why I ride the Specialized,
Yep.
because that is the best basket for my ginorm. Like, I have a weird shaped head,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
So does Sam.
Yeah.
It's in our genes, and that helmet works well. I've never had luck with Giro or POC because it just feels a little funky.
I just feel pressure points.
Yeah,
You do.
but
You do.
And
Yeah.
so get a helmet that you like the look of, that is comfortable. That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
But if it covers your ears, I'm going to be honest, I probably won't talk to you.
That probably won't be
I'm not
comfortable.
going to
honest
be your
about it.
friend.
They won't
I'm
hear
with
you
you.
anyway.
Yeah.
They won't
That's
hear
true.
you anyway. What?
That's true.
What?
Like I said
Huh?
last week, I am judging you. That's
Yes.
what this is for.
Yeah.
It's for me to make you feel bad so you never wear it again.
Triathletes buy those helmets.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
Well, I just heard, I'm going to plug Escape Collective, and they had a guy, Rowan, who does their tech section. He talked to a guy who specializes in aerodynamics, and the advantage of an aero helmet over a non-aero and breathable is like 5, could be 5, maybe 4%
Really?
gain. But the problem is they don't breathe well.
Yeah.
And you will lose, if you are sweating and it's hot, you could lose 25% of your power just over heat loss. So for amateurs, for me, is you got to weigh it out. You're not,
Yeah.
you're going to lose a lot more if you start getting overheated. So
I'm dealing with sweat management too. I have yet to find the perfect pads that divert sweat. If I'm in a tuck where I'm looking up and my forehead is tense, it drains sweat right into one of my two eyes. And so if I'm going down a hill at 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, one of my eyes is always blinded with sweat. And so it's just like, this isn't working.
That's bad.
And I'm not going to wear a hat under my helmet. I'm not going to wear a fucking bandana under my helmet. I'm not going to get one of those stick-on rubber strips you put across your head that divert the sweat. It's great. You should try it. Come on. Just build me a helmet that diverts stuff well enough that my old man, massive amounts of salt sweat, probably because of the alcohol. I'm pouring Everclear into my eyeballs.
I don't want to give up the alcohol.
No.
I don't
Build
understand.
a life around that.
I don't understand the do-rag, because once it's saturated,
It's going to be worse.
it's still doing. And
If you do that, I'll make so much money.
I was
would never do that.
endless.
I would quit the sport.
Yeah, you should quit this. You should ride an e-bike before you ever wear that.
Yeah.
Just
well,
quit.
I bring that up because at RVP there was this guy. We're in Echelon. It was a crosswind, and he had a cycling cap underneath, and his sweat was rolling to the end of the bill, and then it would blow back, and it was pegging me in the face. And I'm like, this guy, and it was like every other stroke, I could just see this wad of spit, and I'm like dodging. I'm like, oh, here comes another.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that guy's just, I was sweating. I sweat a lot out of the head. But I'm thinking, there is no way I'm putting some on another
you're
cover on that.
defeating the entire purpose of your helmet's ventilation system.
Well, he had an aero helmet on top of that. So I was like,
man.
you monkey.
What was the Giro ones that came out first that truly looked? They had the magnetic.
They were arrow. What are they called? Arrowhead? No, they're
Something like that.
But I will say,
isn't that still the Arrow helmet? by
Call them
Giro?
divorced.
I will say I give them props for their newer version of the Giro, of their Arrow helmet.
Yeah.
Because I think that, Wout wore it this last weekend, and it looks a lot better. It looks just like you took a typical Aether, right?
Yeah.
And you just kind of put a cap over the top of it. It's a lot better.
Contained some of the vents.
Yes, and there's no visor. There is no visor.
Visors actually do not help on aerodynamics.
Yeah.
And they cause more of a swirl underneath and dry eye and stuff. It's not. They found out aerodynamically they're actually no advantage whatsoever.
And they make you look like
make
you look like Paul Weller from RoboCop.
I will say something.
Paul got that reference.
Something, speaking of visor, I'm not going to say that I like a visor, but what I will say is that, does anybody know what I say when I say the Oakley Kato? Does anybody
Is that
know?
the one with the over the nose thing?
Uh-huh.
I hate those effing
That's where it's
sunglasses.
supposed to look like it's all like a
Yeah.
mirror or something. Like you shouldn't see any of it.
Yeah.
You know how dirty
I don't
mine
know
would
if I
be?
hate it anymore.
Really?
I hated it at the beginning, but now it's grown on me to a point where I would consider honestly buying a pair of those glasses.
I'm obsessed with how clean my sunglasses are, and if it's over my nose, it's just more lens to worry about being dirty.
Yeah, but you're talking about the guy who's had pairs of shoes for 4, 5, 6 years and has never gotten a single thing on them.
You crashed on them.
No, I'm talking
talking about
about like
regular
sneakers. Like
Those are clean
sneakers.
Sambas.
His
yes,
are, his
I
are.
never ever get anything on anything.
How do you avoid?
Do you walk
Bird
around
shit and
flat-footed
rocks.
so you don't get creases?
Depends on the shoes.
See.
He's walking like Joe Biden. He's just flat-footing everywhere he goes.
It depends on the shoes.
Oh.
Like my Jordans and my Jordans and my Air Force Ones, I kind of do walk that
What if you had itchy scratchies?
What
way.
does that
Like,
mean?
what do you mean?
These are itchy
He literally
scratchy
he
issues from
doesn't
Adidas.
like do
Oh,
heel
see,
toe. He
Itchy
just
you probably don't know who itchy scratchy is.
I don't, but I would walk
do.
around a normal way.
Itchy and scratchy.
Yeah, this is
Fight!
But these are itchy scratchy issues.
Since we're completely ruining an audio pod,
Yeah.
yeah, this is great.
have I shown you guys my?
Your garden shoes? That's what I call mine.
Crocs.
They're leather-looking Crocs.
You should get the headlights for those.
Yeah,
They have Crocs headlights.
I wear them around the house. They
Yeah,
do.
they also have.
But there are no
Crocs
holes on
shovel.
these Crocs.
They
Oh,
do.
they won't take the headlights then.
Yeah. Well,
why do you
I've seen
need
them.
headlights?
So you can see where you're walking.
Have you seen the
Jesus,
shovel?
Are these people who wear these things?
Have you
that
seen the
dense?
shovel that you can put
Yeah,
on the
the
front of
Croc
it?
shovel.
What?
Yeah.
Son of a
Yeah, it's a
bitch.
plow.
I know.
I'm anti-croc now.
You gotta get the shovel.
they are
and-
good pre and post
No,
shoes. They
This-
are good pre and post.
They are.
When you're driving to a race or
Yep.
something like that.
I'm
They are good
afraid
pre and
I'm going to
post.
be the little boy that says, "Hey, the emperor has no clothes."
You're wearing plastic stupid fucking
Yeah.
rubber shoes.
Oh, so you pay for those?
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. Okay. I'm going to take us to the final K. And this has to be quick because this is a 1 minute audio. So we got to answer quick. Gentlemen, the final question, other than drinking, what is one thing that you do that you know is detrimental to your training? Who wants to go first? David.
Dessert.
Paul.
Lack of sleep.
Sam.
Lack of sleep.
Jackson.
I like a bit of fast food here and there.
Yeah. Pat. It's got to be the cocaine.
Fair enough.
Thanks, everybody. Please like and subscribe to the podcast and our YouTube channel, and be sure to tell a friend. I guess that's it. Oh, we have 38 seconds left. It isn't really the cocaine. It isn't really the cocaine.
It's
No,
the
well, tell
heroin.
us then.
I quit that weeks ago. It is
The mushrooms.
it's the mushrooms.
AFib.
It's the methamphetamine. I just can't get enough of the whatever they call it. in the
Psilocybin. I
streets.
love psilocybin. I can't have enough of it.
Can't get it out of it.
No, it honestly, it's my
With this music,
it's
psilocybin
my
is
whiskey.
great.
It's my whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the booze. Yeah. But
I get it.
can't lay it off. We'll catch you next week.